What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live with Coach Cedric. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. I'm doing my live outside. Thought I'd give you guys a change of scenery from my white background that I have in every video and get some fresh air. I've got some big changes that I've been working on lately, so super excited to get into those changes, share them with you, share with you guys how I approach things, and yeah, I'm just going to be going a little bit into my life and how I do things so that hopefully you guys can get some takeaways from it, especially in terms of goal setting. I found that very often people that aren't seeing progress are the ones who have no goals. And just because you have goals doesn't mean that you're going to magically start seeing weight loss, but if you haven't even had that figured out, you're not going to get very far, because there's a saying that I tell everyone that doesn't have goals, which comes from, I heard it from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said you could have the best ship in the world, you could have the best sailor in the world, but if he doesn't know exactly where he's going, he's not going to get anywhere. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, how to actually set those goals. But I also want to give you guys an update on my life. So a lot of you guys already know, a lot of my followers know me in person, but I moved to BC, which is a part of Canada for my non-Canadian viewers. I moved to BC from Alberta, which is a different province. Provinces are like states. Anyways, yeah, so I moved to a completely different area. It's actually a little island on the side of Canada. And I did that a couple years ago, which was basically away from family. And I did that so that I could really focus on myself, keep on working on my business, and making sure that I work towards my goals. But big changes have been happening lately, and I am actually going to be moving back to Alberta, this time with some revised goals and, just a lot of exciting changes that are going to lead to even more growth. So I basically always got my eyes on the next thing. And that's the first point that I want to have with you guys, basically, is that at the end of the day, I have a vision of where I want my life to get, and that's what I base all my decisions off of. It's not always based off of what I want in this moment. Yes, sometimes you gotta have that, but you also gotta have that bigger personal vision that you can always revisit and say, okay, what's the next thing I can do to keep on moving forward towards that? And the reason it's important to keep on looking at it is because things are going to change in your life. And while the vision can stay the same, the approach is going to change over time, because life conditions aren't something you can always control, right? You could get sick, you could, something could happen in your family. Maybe you tried a certain approach and it just didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. So you have to make some shifts as you go along. So that's the way that I've always taken that approach, is I've made my goals based on my vision and what it is that I want to accomplish in the end. As long as you guys have that bigger vision, you can start to make those shifts, something to actually base your decisions off of. And this is a question that I typically ask people before I start working with them too, is, okay, so you've told me your goal. What's the actual goal that you would do or mention here if you weren't limiting yourself? Because a lot of times people will make a goal based off of what they think is possible for them, rather than what they really want. And typically, in my experience, people never really want more than what's possible for them. It's not like people are asking to go and become the next, professional athlete of some sort. I don't know exactly what reference I want to use there, but basically, in my experience, most people are selling themselves short when they're making those goals and when they're trying to design that vision for themselves. So this is a very important thing. My vision, my big overarching goal for my entire life is insanely massive. I don't think I'm ever going to reach it, but I don't know, and I don't want to sell myself short. I don't want to get to the end of my life and think I could have done more. I should have aimed higher, because there's this other saying, which is, it's better to shoot for the stars and miss than to shoot for I don't remember exactly how the saying goes, but shoot for the clouds and hit, something like that. But basically, the point is, if you land on something that was super achievable, you're going to be cutting yourself short and leaving a lot of results on the table. So aim for what you really want at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? You get something even better than what you thought was possible. Because like I said, 90% of the time, if you are doing something just because you think it's possible for you, you are selling yourself short, because at the end of the day, you have the mind that's created the body that you have. If you want to make changes, you're going to end up with a new mind that's open to new possibilities. So keep that in mind when you guys are designing your goals. Yes, you want to have more specific, measurable goals along the way, but you do want to make sure that the overall massive goal, the big vision, is something that's at least a little bit outside of your reach, or at least a little bit outside of the reach that you think is possible for you. So always make those goals based off of what you really want rather than what you think is possible for you. Next thing I wanted to go over is setting SMART goals. This is something I learned from the day I became a personal trainer, basically. Super, it's a concept that's just super introduced into any kind of changes that you want, which is setting SMART goals. When you're setting SMART goals, basically what that stands for is the S is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, then realistic, and then time sensitive. So with each of those things, those should be the guidelines when you're making those shorter term goals. And by short term, I don't mean like tomorrow goals. I still mean technically long term, but we're not talking about the vision anymore. We're talking about making things specific, and you can look at it in terms of what is it that you want to accomplish this year. Once you have that figured out, then make it super specific so that you can actually shoot for it, measure the results that you're like creating for yourself, and then making sure that it's attainable. For example, you can't lose 300 pounds in a year. I know that's an exaggeration, but that's where you kind of want to look at things and say, okay, is this actually something that's realistic for this year? And like I said, this is different from the overall vision. The vision is something you want to make that is basically out of reach, while the goals is something that you want to make sure is realistic. That way you're always shooting for the next thing, and it's something that's actually tangible, that you can make real targets and real game plans. And then the last part is having a deadline, something time sensitive, right? That way you can actually keep on working towards it and measuring basically, okay, how far along am I compared to where I should be? So that's going to be the really important thing here, which leads me to my next point, which is measuring and having those personal check-ins, which is something that I started doing a lot better for myself. I was talking to a friend about it, and he has like he journals every day, does like a problem book basically, and starts to check in with himself every day to see how close he is to what he wanted to accomplish for the week. And this is something that I started doing a lot more frequently. I used to do it more like on a weekly basis. Now I'm doing it on a daily basis. So basically the point is, the more frequent you can do that, the more you can start making adjustments to your approach to make sure that it fits the goals that you're trying to reach. The other thing too is you might set daily actionable steps that you can't actually stick to, or you haven't figured out how to stick to. So it's important that you consistently check with yourself in a systematic basis so that you know, or so that you can figure out what it is that's holding you back and what it is that's pushing you forward. That way you can keep on doing the things that push you forward and stop doing the shit that's holding you back. Anyways, that's everything for this live. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm getting a little bit shivery because it's kind of cold out here, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the change in scenery. Let me know if you have any questions. I saw a lot of you guys tuned in. Love to see it. Just gonna wave at everyone here. Cool. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Gonna wait a few more moments before I run inside where it's warm. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on some more life events. Really excited for this moving this weekend, for all my Calgary homies that are out there thinking, when is Cedric coming back? Well, I'm coming back this weekend. Super excited. Gonna be just packing up a U-Haul and pretty much getting out of here. Anyways, I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna end it off there. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, if you guys ever have any questions at all, let me know in the comments, or let me know even in private messages. I think I saw a couple of you guys that I have some messages from. I will be getting back to you guys. I kind of just have a process in terms of steps I take throughout the day. And after this, I will be getting back to you guys' messages. So if no questions, gonna end it off there. Again, I know I said it a million times, but I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.